All right, let's get to it. We close in on our opening bout. The talented southpaw Felix Machado set to make his fourth defense of the IBF Junior Bantamweight crown against relatively unknown Luis Perez, also a left-hander, in his first world title fight. We take a look first at the challenger, Luis Alberto Perez, who took this fight on 5 days' notice, said to be a top prospect from Nicaragua. 1 loss in 21 fights, but very limited competition. The 1 defeat in his only significant step up in class against southpaw Verdi Torres, his lone fight in the States. Ironically, and you can see her there on the left of your screen, managed by Ana Alvarez, the wife of Rosendo, who pulled out of tonight's card at the last minute. Rosendo is his promoter. Bobby, without question, it's his biggest fight, but it's a daunting task against a very experienced ring-savvy champ.
It sure is, and the last time he stepped up, he failed. He didn't feel really badly, but he did lose the decision and did not look very good. All fighters eventually have to step up, especially when it comes to a world title. And right now, the big prize, should he prevail, is that world title, so there's an awful lot at stake for him.
Yes, a major step up for a fighter who has fought less than 1 round in the last 14 months. And the champion, slick, smart, poised, confident, Felix Machado of Venezuela, very anxious, though, after a 10-month layoff, was training for the now postponed January 11th Hopkins Hakar card. He won the belt in his rematch with another southpaw, Julio Gamboa. 3 successful defenses, 1 against 3-time world champion Mauricio Pastrana, and off a technical decision over previously unbeaten Martin Castillo. Bobby, he feels his speed will be the difference, that Perez is vulnerable to body shots, but could his inactivity factor in if this thing goes deep?
Steve, inactivity can always be a factor. What it does is it takes a fighter out of his zone. When he's not fighting steady, staying active, he stays out of his zone or his rhythm. Now, Machado knows what he's done and what he's done well in the gym and what was good and what was bad. Only he really knows where his rhythm is and if he's ready tonight.
Only 2 fights in nearly 2 years, but a guy who's shown a lot of heart historically. All right, let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. The challenger Perez has the youth, 6 years younger than Machado. The 1.5-inch height advantage for the champion Machado. Slight edge in reach to Machado at yesterday's weigh-in, both just under the limit. And the key rules for this championship fight: there is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th round, the fight is ruled a no decision. If it happens after the end of the 4th, they go to the scorecards. So here at the Armory in Washington, D.C., we're ready for Felix Machado and Luis Perez for the IBF Junior Bantamweight title. The formal introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the historic D.C. Armory in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. We have a big night of action coming away, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all brought to you by Don King Productions in association with the D.C. Sports and Entertainment Commission, Showtime, and CM Exchange of Chicago. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the IBF, the president, Marion Mohammed, supervisor Al Lucas, along with the D.C. Boxing and Wrestling Commission chairman, Dr. Arnold McKnight. Introducing our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Washington, D.C., Paul Artisst. From Portsmouth, Virginia, Walter Cavalieri. And from Washington, D.C., we have Tammye Jenkins. And our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge, working in this, his 9th world title bout, Kenny Chevalier. All right, fans, here we go with the first of our world title attractions. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing gold trunks with black trim, he joins us from Managua, Nicaragua. His weight, 114 pounds even. His record stands at 20 wins, 1 loss, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's challenger, introducing Luis El Demoledor Perez. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with red trim, hailing from Bolivar, Venezuela. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 114 pounds. His record stands at 22 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the defending IBF Junior Bantamweight Champion of the world, introducing Felix El Macho Machado. And once again, a referee in charge, Kenny Chevalier, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of championship boxing scheduled.
Let's go, guys. Clear the ring, guys. Let's clear the ring. Let's go. Hey, protector, profesor.
Get this. Bien, bien. Zapata sin Olympia. No golpes bajo. No use la cabeza mal. Comprende? Bien. Tóquese los guantes.
A fight put together on very short notice. Machado, a rangy technical southpaw who is in no hurry. 0 first-round knockouts, a long jab. He stands straight up so he looks taller, but don't let his thin arms fool you. Not a big knockout guy, but he is strong and has that good straight left. Perez, an aggressive southpaw, hopes to lure Machado into a brawl. He'll look to slow the champion down, make him fight. And as mentioned, while Machado was training for a January 11th fight on the ill-fated Hopkins-Hockar card, Perez took this fight on just 5 days notice, so he's got that strike against him, on top of the fact Machado is much more experienced with a better quality of opposition. So very rare that you see 2 left-handers going at it against each other. Third man of the ring is Kenny Chevalier.
And you can see how relaxed Machado is. He fights at a very steady, slow, even pace, never in too big a hurry, but his opponent likes to get to work a little more quick.
Chevalier, a story in himself, overcame polio to become a Golden Gloves junior champion, a professional boxing referee, 40-10 as an amateur. He's in the Maryland and DC Halls of Fame, an inspirational figure, working tonight's fight as a referee. He told me he was practicing that Spanish for the introduction all day long because he doesn't speak that language. Did a great job. Machado, a southpaw, but not unorthodox. By that, he knows how to fight. Looks to initiate, doesn't wait to counterpunch. Busy guy, high work rate. Best weapon may be the right jab. Has a real nice long jab, which is very effective. Also that good straight left. But a boxer first. Likes to keep the fight at the distance he wants. But he can trade. He's got a solid chin, a good heart. Resilient and tough. Perez.
Right now, Perez throwing the heavier blows, but not working his way in. Machado keeping at the distance he wants him at. Peppering with that right jab. There's a nice overhand left by Perez.
Perez very aggressive here. The knock on him, not always busy enough, but he's certainly busy here in the opening round. But missing wildly there with that right hand, and that could be dangerous. The heads come together. Usually you see that more with a righty against the lefty, but these are 2 southpaws.
You'll notice for even reasonably tall, Perez bends over quite a bit, tries to come inside, take the fight inside more than use his outside height and reach. In this case, he does not have the height and reach.
Cuts a major factor in Machado's last fight, seen here on Showtime against previously unbeaten Martin Castillo, which Machado won on a technical decision after round 6. That also had a lot to do with Machado's height, as Bobby pointed out.
Machado's far too smart a boxer, far too good a counterpuncher, and also has good reflexes for it. Perez just throws 1 or 2 wild punches wide and leaping, not going to work.
Final seconds of this IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship first round. Good finish to the round with a left hand across, right on the jaw by the champion Machado. And there's a little blood on the right side of the face of the challenger. To the keys of victory with Bobby Chen.
Felix Machado, #1, establish his jab. He fights from long range. This will be a big key for him. Also, control the fight pace. He likes to fight at a controlled pace. This will be to his advantage. And lastly, sharp counter punching. Perez is going to come straight at him. He should be very effective with this. For Luis Perez, number 1, close the gap. He's the much better inside fighter. Number 2, work the body. This will weaken Machado and slow him down. And lastly, outwork Machado. Machado tends to work at a slow pace. He can be outworked. We're going to see the guys are going to come together. Watch their heads right here and right here. Their heads are going to bang. They're going to come together right in the middle.
You can see Perez, because he's shorter, comes in underneath. He comes in low, and that resulted in the blood on the right side of the face of the challenger Perez in the black and gold. So round 2 scheduled for 12. Perez, an aggressive southpaw, trying to get inside that long jab of Machado. And Perez, a brawler who likes to fight at close range. He's tough and durable.
Come on, let him out.
Has pretty good punching power and not a bad technician.
But he has to work in behind the jab and then combinations. Get in behind the jab, close the gap, get behind that long, rangy right jab of the champion, and then fire. He's leaping in, Steve, and he's getting caught on the way in.
Machado 22-3-1 with 11 knockouts. Perez 20-1, 14 KOs. He's the WBA Latin American Junior Bantamweight champion from Managua, Nicaragua. Machado from Bolivar, Venezuela, dedicating this fight to the people in his homeland who are economically torn right now. This is not a bad division, but the bigger and Johnny Breedhall. But Machado said he doesn't want to move up. He wants to stay at this weight and unify. The only problem is the marquee names are not in this division. Oh, Machado just walked into a shot.
Walked into a nice stiff right jab, but no follow-up left hand by Perez.
Come on out here.
So now suddenly Machado on the retreat. Perez continues to come forward. A much better round here in round 2 for the challenger, gaining some confidence. There's a right-left combination to the head by the champion.
Yeah, that was a real nice combination. And Perez coming back with a combination of his own.
But eating some leather, a right hand by Machado.
Another nice overhand left by Perez, but like I said, one and done. He's got to throw the punches in bunches.
Perez not showing the champion respect. Remember, he took this fight on just 5 days' notice. Hasn't really had much time to think about it. He said he didn't know much about Machado. He knows he's intelligent, likes to move around the ring. He said he would try to cut off the ring, try to hurt him, slow him down, and make Machado fight. Well, it looks like he's doing that.
Well, he's making Machado fight, but he's following him more than he's cutting off the ring, and that's going to be important because he doesn't cut the ring off. Machado can beat him to the punch almost every time. Nice left hand by Perez.
Let's follow the challenger Perez into the corner, as our translator is Felix Tuto Zabala.
Breathe, breathe.
Necesito golpes rectos, ¿ok? Y combinaciones. Combinaciones, ¿me entiende, mijo? ¿Ok? Ándale, pues.
Let's take a look at nice, straight, stiff right jab. These hands are dropped right to the chin of the champion Machado. It's a beautiful stuffed jab, what I call a power jab or a shotgun jab. Right there. You see the powered head on it. Machado himself, he comes back to champion using his left and his right. Here's a nice overhand left on the jaw. And at the very end of the round, Perez coming back again. There's another left hand right over the lower jab of the champion.
So now we head into round number 3, scheduled for 12.
There we just saw another shotgun jab by Perez. Maybe he's found something. Maybe he's not catching on that the jab's working.
We've seen it take a little time for Machado to get started in the past. He's very patient. Not always very effective early on, but we've seen him come on stronger later.
Right now, Perez is trying to really set a terrific pace. He's just coming at Machado.
Let him out easy, quick.
Either one of these fighters planning to fight the other. Machado was supposed to fight somebody else on the Bernard Hopkins card next week, which fell through. So he was training for that. Perez was just working in the gym. He didn't have anything scheduled. Took this fight on very late notice. And so the original co-feature of Alvarez-Mendoza, which was a compelling rubber match, fell through. This one came aboard. And so far, it's not a bad fight.
Well, you know what? The one fighter, Machado, was preparing for a fight, so he was in the gym. The other fighter was in the gym, not necessarily preparing for a fight, but preparing to be ready. So they're both ready. The opportunity rose. They jumped at it.
The 108-pound champ Alvarez pulling out just 6 days ago, reportedly because of an injured arm, but rumors that he's actually very overweight. A guy that made his mark with 2 very serious challenges to Ricardo Lopez.
Let him go.
Right now, Machado boxing smart, counter-punching, making Perez miss, and then holding him, tiring Perez out. Perez being very aggressive, though, in this round, changing the face of the fight just a little bit.
But Perez very game, despite the challenge in front of him. There's a good left hand there by Machado, right on the nose of Perez. Machado scoring also with that right jab. Little blood trickling from the right nostril of the champion Machado, and the black with the red. Machado is scoring more regularly now with the jab.
Well, what's happening now, too, is Perez is coming in and he's leaving himself a little more wide open. He's getting a little desperate.
Stop! Here you go. Hey, you're holding him back.
It seems like things are picking up now for the champion Machado. And again, our translator, Tuto Zabala.
Pues de boca, ¿quién lo lava? Ya voy, vaya. Ponme la bolsa, lleva atrás. Ponme la bolsa, lleva atrás. No puede correr. Vamos, aire. Breathe. Quiero pelear con eso. Mira, manténme ese hombre con tu mano izquierda, doble ya.
Keep your jab, keep your jab.
¿Oíste? Y con tu ya de retorno, vaselina. ¿Le dieron agua?
Do you give water? Pero necesito más golpe, Luis, ¿ok? Ándale, pues. Go. Venimos a pelear, Luis. Venimos a pelear. We came to fight, Luis.
It's round 4, scheduled for 12. Machado jumping right on Perez. He's got strength, but he doesn't have big punching power. And Perez goes right back at Machado.
Perez seems to be a little bit of the stronger, physically, maybe a slightly better puncher, but not the cleaner boxer. And he's paying because he's getting hit more often.
Perez very active.
Get him up!
Throwing a lot of punches here in round 4.
There's one little low blow there by the champion, too, and the referee told him to keep him up.
Perez comes out smoking. Machado sometimes too defensive and can let himself be outworked.
Seconds.
And now Machado again tasting leather from Perez and backs up.
Perez landed a nice right hook to the body. Machado came back with a right hook to the body. Both of them working the body.
Some furious exchanging here in round 4.
Get him up!
Machado may be wondering if he wants to continue trading with this guy. Now back comes Machado with a right left upstairs.
Beautiful exhibition of counterpunching.
Come on out of there.
Machado is one tough guy himself. Remember, he traveled all the way to Thailand to challenge local favorite and big right-up champ, Thomas.
Big right uppercut there really got the attention of the champion. And both of these fighters leaving their hands, they're flailing pretty wildly, not clean, tight punches.
Turning out to be an action-packed substitute fight. Big right hand there by the challenger, Perez, to the head.
And he followed with a nice left, too. I think he's catching up with the champion a little bit. His timing is getting better and better.
Back comes Machado with a 4-punch combination. Both of these guys just loading up, throwing some heavy artillery.
I'll tell you what, this has turned into a war.
Headbutt there.
Come on.
By Perez, but that's because he was being held by Machado. And Machado the one being cautioned by Kenny Chevalier. Oh, a right hand followed by a countering left by Machado.
Seems to be a little swelling around the right eye of the champion. Machado's got a little puffiness under the right eye.
Machado fighting with more urgency here towards the end of round 4. He looks like he wants to end this right here. He's firing uppercuts, headshots. Back comes Perez with a right hand.
Certainly the best round for Perez. Very efficient in the first part of the round.
And once again, we'll follow Perez to his corner with Tuto Zabala translating.
Breathe, breathe.
El tipo te está avisando los golpes.
He's telling you when he's going to hit you.
Cubre.
Cover, cover.
Cubre por dentro, ¿ok?
Early in the round, Machado coming to body and then a right hook up top, an overhand left, using nice combinations as Perez is coming in. And Perez was very effective in this round. And that's left, overhand left, right to the body. That one got around him a little bit. At the very end of the round, Machado waiting on him. As Perez comes in, they both land counter right hooks.
This is beginning to resemble the first fight between Machado and Julio Gamboa, which ended in a draw, a highly competitive, furiously paced affair. 2 southpaws there and 2 southpaws here. Round 5 scheduled for 12. This for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. The champ is Felix Machado in the black with the red trim. The challenger, who took this on 5 days' notice, Luis Perez, in the gold and black. And again, Perez coming forward.
Some good action by Perez.
No knockdown.
That was not a knockdown. He just sort of flew him to the floor, but Machado holding on a little excessively early on.
Machado just fell over the hip after some roughhouse tactics there by Perez. Perez again coming forward, looking to press the attack. And again, Machado walks into a left hand. Perez trying to make this a brawl, a sloppy fight. That's to his favor, and a point is being taken away.
Let's go.
A point being taken away from the champion, Machado.
It's the third warning for a low blow, and he took the point away. Could be very costly in a close fight.
But Machado comes back. It's a very even fight, I would think, up to this point, and that could be critical, that point. Very entertaining fight here at the DC Armory, our opener. With the main event coming up later, DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley and Randall Bailey for the WBO 140-pound championship. And that could be a war. Welt continues to develop under the right eye of the champ Machado.
There's another left hand right on the Welt, a double left hand, not adding to the Welt.
The swelling continues. But Machado, who has displayed a tremendous heart throughout his career, I don't think he's going to let that stop him. That left hand was blocked by the glove of Machado.
Pace has slowed a little bit here. First 3.5 rounds, very furious. 4 rounds, very furious. Now slowed down a little bit. Perez can't keep that pace up, and nor can Machado.
Both perhaps getting a bit winded as round 5 comes to an end.
You have to throw more punches. Don't stay there.
We're going to watch when Machado pulls down. He's going to put his arm behind his back and just pull him down. It's not a slip. It's a pull down. There you see him clearly threw him to the ground. Now we're going to watch a low blow underneath. He hits him actually below the belt into the thigh. And the referee gets him out of there. Yeah, the referee points him out right away. The referee did not even hesitate.
So things getting a bit on the ugly side here now as Machado retaliated with another low blow, but he's the one that had a point deducted. A very, very close fight here entering round 6.
The last round I thought was Machado round, but with the point off makes it even, so it keeps the fight close.
I'm not so sure Machado thought he would get this kind of a test from a guy he may never have even heard of before this fight. Number 15 ranked Luis Perez, who just gets in as a challenger.
Well, Perez is definitely carrying the fight. He's taking the fight to Machado. For the most part, though, he hasn't been very effective. He walks into a lot of punches. Therefore, he gets scored upon on the way, and he's not an effective aggressor. Sometimes, though, he is effective.
But keep in mind, I mentioned Doron Chuatana earlier. This is the same guy, Machado, who was behind after 6 rounds and rallied dramatically, dropping the champion in front of his hometown fans in Thailand in the 9th round, although he fell short, losing a split decision, did Machado. But since that loss, he's 10-0-1 with 6 knockouts. Oh, right hand right on the head by Machado.
Beautiful lead right hook, and he bent over, and I'll tell you what, a little feint. Perez bought it and hooked right over the top.
Perez has been down only 1 time in his career. It was against Bernie Torres in his lone defeat, and it took place in his lone U.S. fight, Gulfport, Mississippi. Machado's been down only 1 time in his career. That was in his first professional fight. Worst experience ever, he said, but although it was very discouraging, he bounced back.
I can tell you from personal experience, it's no fun.
Machado 4-1-1 in world title bouts. This is 4th defense, but he is certainly being put to the test here by an unheralded, relatively unknown challenger named Luis Alberto Perez, who is managed by Ana Alvarez, the wife of Rosendo, who pulled out of this fight. They think he's going to be a star, and he's already a top prospect from Managua, Nicaragua.
Well, he's boxing smart. He's showing why he's the champion. He's got patience. He never gets into too big of a hurry. Machado, very calm, very cool.
Well, we made an analogy to the stock market earlier on the opening tees, but that was in reference to the main event, Corley and Bailey, but perhaps it's Perez's stock who will go up here. But like the stock market in boxing, it could be very volatile.
A ver, con aire. Nariz boca. Nariz boca. Nariz, boca.
See the champion Machado on left. He bends down, he dips his shoulder down a little bit like this. What happens is Perez bends down too, but he leaves his hand here. He throws a beautiful right hook right here over the top. Beautiful, really countered well. Right there. He bends, leans in a little bit. Perez ducks, and he ducks literally right into the right hook. Here's the calm, cool champion from the outside, just working his opponent, working Perez, playing it smart, keeping it safe. He's won the rounds, got in the bank, just keeping out of harm's way while scoring points. Very smart boxing.
Well, we are halfway through this championship fight unofficially, Bobby. How do you have it?
Well, I have it 4 rounds to 1 and 1 even, and it's 58-55 in points. I think the champion's got a clear advantage. I think that the first 3 rounds, although the 3rd round was very close, first 3 rounds with the champion. The 4th round, I gave it to Perez. The other one was even with the point taken away for the low blow, and then the champion got back on track.
And to wipe off a little excess grease on the face of the champion Machado as that welt continues to swell up underneath the right eye of the champion. You wonder if that can begin to affect his vision out of that right eye at some point. Certainly has to be somewhat distracting and bothersome. But it continues to grow. And Perez using it as target practice right now.
There he lands another left hand right over the top. The lower jab by champion. That right eye is going to get worse.
Then he snuck in a right uppercut on the inside. Perez with a heavy left hand.
Big lead overhand left. He hurt the champion. You see his legs buckle.
Well, that got the champion's attention, who can hardly see out of that right eye now.
That left hand really did some damage to the eye.
And Machado fighting with a lot of urgency now. And they are spelling upset in the Perez corner, but it may be a little too early for that.
Oh! Come on out there. Hey. Come on now.
Machado's landing more punches, Steve, but I think Perez are definitely heavier.
Perez continues to be the aggressor. Machado fighting backwards, but that doesn't mean he's not scoring. He's getting some of those punches through there, like that one. Right hand.
And that straight left hand counter.
I wouldn't rule Machado out just yet. Perez getting a little careless. But he is one tough kid. He's 6 years younger than Machado at 24.
Come on out here.
Machado showing some signs of fatigue there in his legs. And his eyes don't look as good as they did a little while ago. And I don't just mean the swelling, I mean what's in there. Beautiful combination by the champion there.
Machado hasn't fought since March. That was under the six-heads Lewis-Ricardo Mayorga fight, in which that was an upset, won by Mayorga. Look at that right eye underneath the eye of the champion Machado. It gets worse by the moment. Machado scoring with that straight left hand. But he looks exhausted.
Open up your eye. Open up your eye.
The damage was done early in round 1 via a headbutt.
We'll watch the heads, they will clash right there. You see the headbutt clear right underneath the eye. That started the swelling. Here's round 7. You'll watch nice overhand left by Perez. He's working underneath. Big overhand left right there, right on the eye, and that eye starts to swell immediately.
Yeah, that exacerbated the situation.
Machado comes back with nice combinations because sometimes, as I said, you see there, nice left hand, right hook. Sometimes Perez walks in, hands down, unguarded. Can't do that against Machado.
No doctor went into the red corner, the Machado corner, to check on that eye. And Perez lands with a straight left hand near the eye.
See, now, one of the things I've always maintained throughout boxing, if that headbutt had resulted in a small cut, and later in the fight it got stopped, they go to scorecard. But if it gets stopped now, they don't go to scorecard, even though a butt initiated the swelling. I think that needs to be changed a little bit. Or at least addressed.
Round 8 scheduled for 12 for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. It has turned into a more compelling affair than perhaps many thought it would be, because of the experience factor and the quality of opposition factor that favored the champion Machado.
Well, I think right now Perez's stock has to go up, at the very least somewhere near bordering the top 10, maybe 11, maybe 9, but his stock has to go up.
Even in defeat.
You hold it.
That right eye continues to close on Machado.
Being near the top of the division, and one of them obviously the champion, and being a southpaw, make them less and less attractive to fight orthodox fighters for southpaws. They're a tough task.
And it's very rare when you get two southpaws coming together.
That eye is looking extremely ugly, Steve. It really is. I got a good close view, and it looks bad.
Machado's cut man earning his keep tonight, Luis Gomez.
Step it. Let him go.
Domination upstairs by Machado, but not much clout behind it.
Let him go. Fight out of there.
Under a minute remaining, round 8. Perez landing.
Right now, Machado's just outworking Perez. He's throwing more punches, he's landing more punches. His ring generalship is excellent. On top of that, Perez allowing Machado to tie him up on the win almost every time.
Let him out, easy.
Machado continues to leather under the right eye, worsening the situation. There it is, right hand by Perez. That gets the crowd going.
Stop.
Too little, too late, though.
Well, some great action here. Here's a preview of some of the great action you'll see on Showtime in the coming weeks.
In 2003, Showtime Championship Boxing brings you the most exciting fighters in the business. Unified champion Acelino Freitas, the 2000 Olympians, plus the return of the biggest name in boxing, Mike Tyson. The action continues January 18th with the Thunder from Down Under, Kostya Tszyu. He's unified the 140-pound division, and now he puts all 3 belts on the line against top veteran Jesse James Leija. Tszyu versus Leija, Saturday, January 18th at 10 p.m. only on Showtime.
And speculation that if Tszyu beats Leija, Tszyu's next opponent could be Arturo Gatti, who comes off that tremendous second fight with Mickey Ward. Gatti trained now by Buddy McGirt, who also handles Clifford Etienne, who will meet Mike Tyson February 22nd here on Showtime.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, always a pleasure to watch Kostya Tszyu, one of the limited unified world champions that we have, and a true pleasure to watch pound for pound, one of the best we have.
You're looking forward to that short flight to Australia?
Yeah, that short flight that I lose a whole day. Leave on a Wednesday, get there on a Friday, beat up Thursday automatic.
You're looking forward to the fight, but not the flight.
Poetry.
Round 9, scheduled for 12. And Machado continues to have problems underneath the right eye. That did help his cause.
That sure did, and that was a beautiful left hand, but no right hook behind it. Needs to throw 2 and 3 and 4 at a time.
Perez having success with that straight left, missing with the right hook. Perez's punches harder, stronger than Machado.
He found success early on. Perez did with that overhand left to the right eye of champion, and he's been living with it, and he may live or die by it, but been effective.
That's an eye problem that began early in the fight as the result of a collision of heads, and then got worse by Perez's punches to that region. Midway through the ninth.
Come on out of there.
Machado having a point deducted earlier. There's a caution by Chevalier to the challenger Perez. Machado with a series of low blows earlier in the fight, and he lost a point. And as Bobby pointed out, in a fight this close, it could be crucial.
Hold in.
Not many people thought the fight would go this deep.
A little bit of a pull to the ground there. I think a knee touched.
Felix Machado, who until he was 11 was mainly interested in baseball, turning to boxing. He may be revisiting that idea of baseball right now.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He's got a welt the size of a baseball.
I was just going to say he's got a welt almost as big as a baseball. He just got hit twice more and it pretty cleanly.
And pretty much closed that eye. That eye is nearly completely shut. You got a one-eyed fighter basically in there now. The champion, Felix Machado, in the black with the red trim. Things are looking grim now for the champion. It's showing heart.
Respirando, Luis.
Breathe.
Respirando.
Breathe.
Luis, por favor, quiero izquierdas al ojo que tiene cerrado.
Luis,
Ya no las
you
ve.
gotta throw more left.
Pero quiero combinaciones, ¿ok?
I want combinations. I want combinations. No one punch.
Vamos,
Combination,
nos
okay?
quedan 3 rounds. Nos quedan 3
Let's
rounds.
go.
Él ya no tiene para nada.
We got 3 more rounds.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's throwing a left hand pretty well. Right here, you look right around the eye here. This is the target. This is the target. Left hand over the top, again and again all night long. And you'll see it right on the eye. Again, right on the eye. Later on in the round, it finds its mark again. He has a bit of a homing device on that eye. In the left hand, there it is. See it? That eye is practically swollen shut from both sides, top and bottom.
Bullseye.
Well said.
Luis Perez, look at that eye. Luis Perez, one of 9 children who told us in the fighter meeting yesterday morning he was willing to die in the ring. That's how important this is to the young man from Managua, Nicaragua. He's fighting in his first world championship fight, and he is making the most of it. His face relatively clean. Machado, very, very urgent right now.
Well, I still have Machado ahead by just a couple points. And it's slowly tipping in the opposite direction. But there's not a lot of time left in rounds 10, 11, and 12. Beautiful combination by Perez.
Perez really turning it up. And the champion off balance. He just marches him around the ring. I'm surprised you have Machado still ahead, even after the point deduction and the aggressive nature here of the challenger.
Right, but in many of the rounds, the aggressive nature of the challenger wasn't effective aggression, just aggression, and just aggression is an amateur sport. Some nice combinations by Machado. Perez offering up almost nothing.
Straight left hand by Machado that connected. Right on the head of Perez. Machado can basically see just out of his left eye.
Easy, let him out, let him out.
Yeah, it's pretty safe to assume he's not seeing a lot. Whatever he is seeing is very blurred.
Talk about a handicap. And then a headbutt, a collision, as Perez came forward. That was right into the jaw of Machado. And Machado with a big left hand. He comes back missing, though, with the combination.
So Machado winds up. He doesn't land as well as Perez. Perez is the better puncher of the two. Machado much more busy.
Less than 30 seconds remaining, round 10. Scheduled for 12. This for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship.
Let him out, let him out, let him out. Quick. Come on.
A much better fight than a lot of people anticipated. Straight right hand there by the challenger, Perez, just before the bell. And it landed upstairs, and Machado takes the long, slow walk to his stool.
We got 2 more round champion, 2 more round champion. Good, good.
Boom, 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
2 rounds, 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
Vaselina.
Vaseline.
Perez came out on a mission, unloading right away. Back Machado up to the corner and just started firing up on the inside, the outside, pushing him off, and just landing as much as he could, staggering the champion well. Machado, to his credit, came back, started boxing, catching Perez on the way in, hands down like that there. 2 double overhand lefts. Smart boxing. And they bang heads like that. Bending over, you got to keep your hands up when the guy's short coming in, and especially when he's coming up, you will walk into his head more than once.
Again, Machado's right eye closed as we head into round 11, the championship rounds. And Perez trying to take the championship belt away.
Well, this should decide, because I have it very close. These next 2 rounds are key.
Stop, stop, stop.
And Perez fighting like he is very, very well aware of that. As he comes out again aggressively. And those heads come perilously close again. Previous times into the championship rounds, Machado one up on Perez, and both very similar records. But keep in mind, for Machado, those are world championships.
Well, the world championships, coupled with the experience of those better quality fighters, could be a big asset here in these last 2 rounds. Could be huge.
We'll see if the experience factor now plays a big role in the final 2 rounds. Oh, a left hand upstairs, it's scored by the challenger. And back comes Machado, but the shot by Perez was stronger. There's another left hand.
He staggered the champion there. You see him go back on his heel. Really, really wobbly.
Machado rocked.
And he's holding on now for dear life.
Machado rocked and staggered by 2 left hands by Perez. This would be some story for the Nicaraguan Luis Alberto Perez, taking this fight, as we mentioned at the outset, on just 5 days' notice in a late substitute fight. Wasn't even training for Machado. Machado, a crafty guy, a champion who has made 3 successful defenses.
Well, in the corner, too, you heard the challenger's corner after the 9th and 10th rounds saying not just the overhand left, come back with the right hook. And he hasn't been doing that. If he had, Machado might be on his canvas.
Well, Machado may be ahead on points as you have it, although close, but he certainly looks like the defeated fighter.
Let him go, let him go.
That one also got the attention of Machado. That sent him reeling.
Shotgun power jab, just stuffed it up in there and sent him back on his heels.
We approach the final 10 seconds of the 11th, a big round for the challenger, Perez.
We're going to take a look right here. challenger coming in. He's going to throw the left hand right, again, smack dab on the eye of the champion. Fires it right off the top. Steps back, right there. And you see that, and you see him rock him back on his heels. Caught the champion's attention, hurt him very briefly.
Breathe, breathe. Breathe.
Rinsing off when they put adrenaline in.
Mouthpiece.
Por favor, Luis.
Please, Luis.
¿Está bien?
Are you okay?
Estos son los 3 minutos de tu vida, Luis, por
We
favor.
got 3 minutes of your life.
Vamos, Luis.
Come on, Luis.
The biggest 3 minutes in the boxing career of Luis Perez. On the left, Felix Machado with the closed right eye on the right. They touch gloves for the 12th and final round. Machado 3-1-1 in fights that have gone the 12-round distance. Perez 3 up, 1 down. This round could decide the fight. How do you have it at home?
I'll tell you what, Steve, this round does decide the fight for me. Right now, the 104-104 is an even fight. The point taken off has really hurt the champion.
Come on out of there.
And it puts him in a position of do or die with his last round.
So on your card, Perez is caught up, and it's all tied. Kenny Chevalier helping out Felix Machado by tying his left shoelace.
Well, that seems fair.
I'm in. Let's go.
And they continue in a critical round that could determine the outcome.
See, now right now, champion's still able to keep the challenger off, keep Perez at bay, land a little more, not harder, but land a little more often.
We'll see if the challenger has done enough to take Machado's title. Machado comes back strong.
See, this is where it's championship quality rounds come into play. He knows what to do. Sometimes takes that to know how to win, takes having been there.
Machado looking to throw everything at Perez here.
And he's definitely outworking here in this final round. Oh, so critical.
Machado knows how close. He's on the threshold of losing the coveted belt.
The round's half over, and right now, Machado clearly won the first minute and a half.
Oh, and a left uppercut right on the chin of Perez. Perez showing a good, solid chin there. A very smart round by Machado, the champion.
Making Luis Perez miss and miss often and make him pay for it almost every time. This is smart counterpunching.
Yes, this is where the experience can really pay off for Machado. And all that quality of opposition in the past.
He's got a minute to hold on now. Key, the first 2 minutes of this round so far, I believe the champion's clearly won. The challenger would have to outwork him by a lot in his last minute to steal it.
Machado taking this round. And it could turn out to be the difference. Another good left hand upstairs by Machado. That straight left hand scoring.
A little more than half a minute left. The challenger really must be desperate now.
And he is as he throws those wild lefts.
Right out of there. Let him out, easy.
As we approach the final 10 seconds of the fight, there goes Machado teeing off. Big left hand to the head. The Perez showing his metal and his chin. As we head for the bell, that'll do it. Terrific fight.
Better fight than previously anticipated.
The crowd loved it. Many standing here at the D.C. Armory. Both fighters being hoisted up. Both fighters think they won. Certainly Machado looks like the loser on his face, but could be a different story on the scorecard. A valiant effort by Machado, hanging in there despite that handicap, not being able to see out of the right eye for, I don't know, 5-6 rounds. Almost half the fight. Now he can finally let it fly with a smile. He fought a terrific 12th and final round, and that may be the difference over Perez. We will We'll soon find out. It is now in the hands of the three judges. Paul Artisst from Washington, D.C., Walter Cavalieri from Portsmouth, Virginia, and Tammye Jenkins also from D.C. And Machado embraces Perez. The final round.
Well, you watch him. See the hands down here on the challenger Perez. Machado keeping the jab out here and then firing the left hand in. Coming back around, hitting him again and again. All right, that one falls a little bit short, but there's one square on the jaw. He'll come back from the outside with the left right. Uppercut on the inside. Boxing smart, moving smart. Staying out of harm's way. He keeps his key. His jab is out here and then fires the left hand over the top. He's been doing it all night. And rocking himself out and coming back in. Keeping it busy. Keeping it busy.
And there's the champion who anxiously awaits the scorecards. Look at that right eye.
Doesn't look good, Steve. I gotta be honest with you.
It's taking quite a bit of time here to tally up the cards, which is not a surprise because you would have to figure it's really close. The trouble with the right eye began all the way back in round 1 for Felix Machado.
Well, they came together coming in. You see the overhead right there. Perez had his head down and Machado didn't have his hands up in front of his face and his head slammed directly into his eye.
And then it worsened with punches to that area by Perez. So we continue to await the decision. And this is real nervous time for the champion Machado, who may have just eked it out with a terrific 12th and final round. But who knows? He had a point deducted early on for low blows against this guy Perez. Perez, who took this fight on very short notice, put on a tremendous show. His face basically unmarked. He had a little blood in the early going as a result of a headbutt. All right, we're set now. We're set. Let's get it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 action-packed rounds of boxing, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Paul Artisst scores the bout 115 to 112 in favor of Luis Perez. Judge at ringside, Walter Cavalieri scores the bout 117 to 110 in favor of Felix Machado. Judge at ringside, Tammye Jenkins scores the bout 114 to 113 in favor of the winner and the new IBF Junior Bantamweight champion, Luis El Demoledor Perez.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bobby Ches, I'm not going to argue with it.
No, split decision. I can't argue with, but I'll tell you, one judge had Machado ahead by 7 points.
That I'll argue with.
That, you know, that's 8 rounds, 9 rounds to 2 and 1 even. That's amazing. And reverse that, the other judge, a 3-point difference in a 12-point fight would be, you know, 8 rounds, 7 rounds to 4, 1 even. I can see the 1 even round.
The old adage, what fight are you watching, applies to the judge who had it 117, 110. Machado, the other guys had it very close. Let's go inside the ropes here and let Bobby Ches dissect this thing a little further.
Well, we're going to see how Perez was effective. He took the fight to Machado. Here you see him with the right hook, pushing him back. And you see the big overhand left on the eye. Falling back, right hook, left hand again, double left hand on the rope. Forcing Machado back, pressing him, take advantage of him, press him. There's another left hand, stops him in his tracks. That's how he was effective when he was aggressive. That's what pulled the fight.
So, Bobby, the new year begins in upset fashion. Relatively unknown Luis Perez on 5 days' notice for the unexpected victory over the much more experienced Felix Machado, the Nicaraguan Perez, your new IBF Junior